This is the Modern Man tutorial, episode 1, how to approach a woman. In this modern day and age, right, you gotta do things a little bit different. Some of these tactics, some of these things that I do have worked for me. I'm old, so I've seen a lot of different ways guys approach women. And a lot of the way they approach women were based off of how women behave. Most women want to be approached sometimes. You can't approach a girl. Back in the day, you couldn't. It's hard to. It would be hard to approach a female, a woman, if you didn't have like an icebreaker, or if you didn't have something. Like if you didn't have a plan of conversation, if you didn't have your conversation planned out, like how you're going to be talking to her and how the conversation is going to be. Basically, a script. You had to have a script in order to talk to a woman. Like for me, it was always it's simple is better. From my personal experience, I know I would notice guys would literally, like I said, they would have a script. They would talk to a woman, and every woman they meet pretty much the same way, say the same things, word for word, right? Essentially have a script. And for a lot of guys that can work, but for many guys it can't. And a lot of times that whole script thing didn't work out. The whole, talking to every woman the same way, because eventually some of these women probably are friends with one another, or they would meet each other, and they would notice certain things. They would notice, like, wait, he said what to you when he first started talking to you? I remember he said that to me, and I've seen that scenario happen a lot, where it's like, oh, okay, he was saying that to you, blah blah blah. That's why stuff like pickup lines can be funny. Like if you have a funny pickup line, that's one thing, right? Like humor there's nothing wrong with humor. I prefer that you make a joke to make a joke, not like you're literally trying to, like the pickup lines always seem weird to me. The idea like you're trying to say something to basically try to make her like you, but you can make her like you through the fact that you made a funny joke. It could be something as simple. Like for me, my most basic joke is, yeah, that's what she said. And if a woman laughs when you say that, that means she understood the joke. Like it could be something as simple as like somebody could have said like, this is big, and then you respond with, that's what she said. And if she laughs, bang, there you go, you good, right? She laughed. Something you said got a reaction out of her, and it was a good one, right? She laughed, which is a happy reaction. And that's another thing. Remember, women care about feelings. Feelings is important. So you want to do and say things that makes her happy. If you come up to her, hey, sexy, and then she gives you this unhappy face, you just ruined it. Damn it. You have one shot, one opportunity, one mic, right, to get a first impression. First impression matters. This is why I prefer that before I even approach a woman, even come closer, get anywhere near her, that at some point I catch her attention, right? Like you gotta get her attention, right? Women love attention, but for you to have your shot, your chance, right? You gotta make sure she notices you, because of course you're gonna notice her. If she's hot, she's your type, just like this image right here. If she's hot, she's your type, you're gonna notice her, right? So that could be too surprising. You're gonna notice her, right? You like what you see, so you want to approach, but you gotta be careful. Again, first impression matters. So she's your type, yes, but doesn't mean you're her type. So you men, we always say this. Yes, we judge women by their looks. Like we see you and we make a decision if we want to interact with you based off of your looks. Then we try to get to know you. But first is your looks. With women, is the opposite. Women do still judge you by your looks. They still judge a book by its cover, but they can be intrigued by the contents of your book, if you know what I mean. So that's why it's important if she notices you, aka, right, she notices the book, right, she notices your cover, as it were, right, she notices you, that's good. That's a start. That already fixes one thing. Because if she didn't notice you and you notice her and you walk up to her, you're a total stranger, right? Because this is the first time she sees you. So that's a that right there creates a problem. You want him to already be aware that you were around. So you want her attention first, right? Because of course you're gonna notice her, right? She's hot, but you want her to notice that you're there. Then try to make your way, try to get close to her. Don't be too quick to get close to her, right? Unless she gives you a signal, right? She makes it obvious that you should come over. The most obvious is if she literally uses her fingers and gestures, come over. That kind of stuff. That's important. So that's the kind of stuff you gotta think. Is like, okay, she called me over. I looked around to make sure that she wasn't calling somebody else. But I've actually had that happen to me maybe twice in my life, where because normally I would look around to see if there's anyone else around. Like, because sometimes I would notice a woman look like she's like waving at me, talking to me, like, okay, it looked like she's trying to get my attention. So then I think she's actually waving at me, but it turns out it was somebody else behind me, which is why it's important to always look around. If you're a little pro tip, if you're in like a coffee place or something, like in this image, if you're in a coffee place or something, make sure if you're sitting down somewhere, like maybe drinking your coffee at a Starbucks or something, make sure you're somewhere where there's nothing really behind you. So if a woman is looking at your direction, it has to be you, right? That's the logical thing. It's like it has to be you. I mean, still, right? Look around just in case, because maybe she's looking at a freaking spider crawling on the wall coming down to you, which is why she's looking your direction, because she sees the freaking spider. But other than that, right? Look around, make sure that she's not looking at much. She's not looking at anything else. Another interesting thing is when you do look around to see if she's looking at someone else. Sometimes that triggers to her, and this has happened right to me. She will try to make sure that she will gesture. I am looking at you. Now sometimes they do that. Sometimes, and that's great. When they do that, it's awesome. That's what you want. You want her to be like, yeah, you. Like when she starts pointing and be like gesturing, like, yeah, you. Even though you can't hear her voice, right? Or you could. Maybe she says it out loud. Hopefully not too loud, because that'd be embarrassing, right? Everybody starts looking like, what's going on over there? Right? But if she starts pointing and moving her lips like, you, yes, you, right? Then there you go. This is important because remember, she's giving you a shot. You gotta understand, she just gave you a shot. She consented to you coming to her, right? Now it'd be weird if she gestures to you and be like, oh, okay. And then you start getting up and then she gives you the middle finger like, oh, okay, that was awkward, but okay. Laugh it off and get back to whatever you were doing and try to make less eye contact. If she was joking and she was just, playing around, then she knows she has to come to you now. Now she has to come to you. If she did that and you started ignoring her, she has to come to you now. But that's for a different situation, right? Because sometimes women do like to play games, That's their version. You have to understand, women do flirt, in different ways. Sometimes being an asshole is the way a woman flirts, ironically. So even, like I've had a scenario where a woman would stick her tongue out at me. Like I'd be looking and I'll notice that, like, we'll make eye contact. It's more like noticing, like, okay, she's looking in my direction, I'm looking at her direction, and like we're making eye contact, and then suddenly she'll stick her tongue out at me, and like, okay, um, I don't know what that's supposed to mean, right? Like, are you flirting? Is that your way of flirting? So some women are different. Some women are shy. This and that. You have to understand that some women are forward. They they not going to be shy. So that makes it easier for you if she's not shy. But if she's shy, you got to put in the work. You got to understand, guys. If she's shy, you can't be, because then this whole scenario just becomes pointless, and you're missing out on an opportunity because it's like, yeah, she's shy, so she's not going to do anything till you make her feel comfortable to do stuff. So you got to make her less shy. So that means you can't be shy. I definitely had to learn that the hard way, like how important it is to not be shy. Trust me, if you're afraid, nervous, this, that, and third, that's obviously normal. But you got to understand this. Like, you got to You got to not be shy. Like, as in, fake the funk is what I'm saying. Pretend that you're not a shy guy. Even if you are shy, pretend to not be shy. It's not going to help you to be shy. Right? Depends on the situation. The thing is, if she's shy, you definitely can't be shy. You got it. One of y'all can't be shy, is what I'm saying. One of y'all has to not be shy. So if you're shy and she's not shy, well, that works out for you. Anyway, as a man, you should try to not be shy. You know what I mean? If you're shy, that's understandable. You know, it depends on your life, but try not to be shy. You know, try to, get your confidence up. You got to understand this. This is a woman that's paying attention to you. This is a woman that's giving you, a shot. Man up. Stop being shy. Right? You know, you got one shot, one opportunity, right, to impress her. After that, she could care less. Um, it, After that, you have to impress her right off the bat, which is why it's important to make sure she feels happy, right? She feels something positive, right? When she sees you, especially every time she sees you. I've experienced that a lot, where I'll be in a scenario where, like, I'm coming into a place and I see a woman that, that she recognize. She knows me, I know her, but she looks a little sad, right? It's like, damn, she looks sad, all by herself sitting down. But as soon as she sees me, bang, she's immediately excited, like, like, like it was her, like somebody threw her birthday party, or something like surprise. She's extremely happy. For me, in this particular scenario that I'm using, she has a man. Her man is in the next table, sitting down with his homies, chilling with his homies, and she's in a table across from them, by herself. She looked really sad when I walked in. So it's like, yeah, that doesn't look right. She should be sitting right next to her man. But he's right there just chilling with his homies, laughing it up, having a good time, and she's there looking all sad. So I felt bad, right? Felt bad that was happening. So of course I'm looking. As soon as she made eye contact with me, she was she was happy. She waved at me, called out to me, and it felt a little awkward because I'm like, her man's right there. This seems awkward that she's extremely happy to see some other man when her man is right there. But again, he is a douchebag because she's over here looking all sad. He's over here all happy with his friends, right? So he's clearly not paying her attention to the point where I'm just me walking in made her day better. And it's like, oh, this feels awkward, right? But not surprised that that's the thing. So that's why it's important. Make her happy, because if you don't, some other guy will, and the guy could just be walking in minding his own business, and then just make eye contact, and suddenly she's extremely happy. Like if her boyfriend just walked in and said, "Whoa, I'm just some guy, not your man." Not saying I wouldn't be her man. It's just she already got one, so it's up to her if she wants to upgrade. Anyway, the point is make her happy, right? Make her happy. So let's break it down a little bit. Flirting from a distance, like most guys, don't want to be rejected. Whether you're a confident guy or a shy guy, it doesn't matter. Most guys don't want to get rejected, and that tends to suck, right? Now, some of us have got tough skin because some of us got used to rejection. Some of us don't get rejected because some of us are just popular with the ladies, right? But the guys who are not as popular, we do, well, not we. I don't have that much of a problem, but for guys who do be having issues with ladies, showing you any attention, working up the nerve to go approach a woman, and let her know you like her, this and third, and getting rejected sucks. So flirting from a distance, or rejection from a distance, is what I really call it. It works in two ways. You can flirt from a distance, but this is to help you avoid, big rejection. You rather be rejected from a distance than up close, because it's obviously more embarrassing. Especially, if I'm right, there's a term for it. Some people have said it's the walk of shame. After you walked across the room, right, to approach and talk to a woman, she rejects you. Now you have to walk back in shame, right? The walk of shame. So I'm trying to help you avoid the walk of shame, because it is a shame to do the walk of shame, and Men have feelings too, and we do our best to control it, which is important. It's very important for men to control their emotions because bad things happen when you don't. So it's very important to control them as much as possible. But it's a good idea to not allow your emotions to get hurt more often than not, right? Because there's more negative emotions than there are positive emotions, right? Right? We have anger, sadness, fear, uh, stress, depression. The list goes on and on. Different, words for different negative feelings or reactions. Um, More so than positive feelings. So since we have more feelings that are negative, you want to avoid triggering those negative feelings, right? You want positive feelings. Same thing when you talk to a woman. You want positive feelings as much as possible. If she's angry at you, try to find a way to make her happy, right? Make a joke, buy her something, whatever it takes to get her happy. That's for another conversation. But flirting from a distance, right? First, making eye contact. It's important, right? You know, you want to, with just your eyes, just looking at her, you want to let her know that you're looking at her. You're paying attention to her instead of what's going on around you. Especially, let's say you're sitting down with some friends and you're like constantly looking at her, and she notices, oh wait, he's over there with some guys, but he keeps looking at me. So he's paying attention to me. I am more interesting than the people he's with. Exactly, right? That's the thought she's having. So she's going to feel some type of way. And that's the important thing, right? Feel. A lot of her decisions, a lot of what she's going to do is going to be based off of her feelings. So you paying attention. Now she's paying attention because now she's aware that you're looking at her. So eye contact. The next thing is a smile because remember, feeling. And everybody wants to feel, respected. Everybody wants to feel loved, and everybody prefers happy feelings. It's just there's very few happy feelings, like very few good feelings versus the a lot of the negative feelings. That's why it's like very important to put a lot of emphasis on whatever you do to trigger a lot of the happy or just a few happy, positive feelings. So a smile should make somebody smile. Now, if she's not feeling happy that day, and even you smiling at her, a total stranger smiling at her, doesn't make her happy, doesn't make her smile, okay, then no matter what you do, it's going to be hard to take away that unhappiness. If she's unhappy, she's unhappy. And this is going to make it hard for you to approach her and even have a good conversation, a positive outcome if she's doom and gloom all off the bat, right? If she's already sad. So I mean, most of us guys want to make a woman happy, right? So if we see that she's sad, we want to make her happy. But a lot of times, um, we make it worse than better. We're trying to improve, ladies. We're trying to improve, right? We're trying to improve. We're trying to find ways to make y'all happier faster, but we're doing our best. So a smile, make eye contact, smile. If she smiles back, just like in this image, cute little smile. If she smiles back, then you're good, right? And hopefully, what happens next is that she, signals you in some shape, way, or form to approach her, to come to her. Um, there's a lot of like body language signals. I'm not going to go through all of them, but if you smile, one most basic way of letting you know that she might be okay with you coming close to her is if she starts adjust, like if she starts. I thought it was that thing when she plays with her hair. I wish I had a clip, right? I wish I was more prepared for this video. I had a clip to show you like that whole hair thing. When a woman like puts her hair behind her ears. Think about that. Think about that psychologically, right? Think about it. If she's putting her hair, which was over her ears, and she's now putting the hair behind her ear, that means she's willing to listen. I'm just making it sound like that. I'm saying it because it seems like that's what she wants, right? The whole ear thing is signaling that she wants you to talk to her, So she's making sure she can hear you by not having her hair over her ears, even though she's halfway across the room, right? Which means you gotta go over there and talk to her, right? So that's what I think. Like that, the concept. Like, why do women do that? Why do women, play with their hair and put hair behind their ear, right? They're adjusting themselves. Why do they do that? My theory, and I'm probably pretty sure I'm right, is that they're preparing themselves for a conversation. They're preparing to hear what you have to say. So then that could be a signal for you to approach her. Now, if you get up and you start making a move to approach her, and then she starts acting like all nervous and stuff, like I said, you gotta be confident if she's shy. But if she gives you this like angry look, if she gives you an angry look, like the hell is he doing? Awkward moments. You might want to stop, pause, and see how she reacts afterwards, right? If she's giving you like a negative, like, "Whoa, like, what is he doing? Why is he coming over here?" type of facial expression. But if she, adjusted her hair, like I said, adjusted her hair to take her hair off her ears so she can hear you, and she's just there, and she stops looking at you, and she's looking at the table, looking at her coffee, like looking at her coffee and stuff like that, as if she's waiting patiently for you to arrive, because that's kind of funny, right? She was paying attention to you, right? She was looking at you, you were looking at her, y'all were making eye contact. You smiled. She smiled back and started adjusting her hair and stuff. But now she stopped looking at your direction and she's looking at whatever she has in front of her, or she's starting to look around, acting like she doesn't notice you. I'm like, okay, that's okay. I get it. I know the game. I know the game. I understand. You want to act like you don't, like you ain't see me. So when I approach you, it's gonna be a surprise. Like, oh my God, some guy just walked up to me. Even though you made eye contact, I smiled at you, smiled back, and started whatever. I'll play the game, and that's the thing. You gotta understand. Sometimes that's what it is. That's how women flirt, right? It's the game. So she wants to play the little game, act like she don't notice that I'm coming to her to speak and whatnot. So be it. I've experienced that a lot, so that's why I'm pointing out. Like, it's so cute that they do that. They pretend they don't notice you coming to go talk to them. It's like, but you gave me the signal. You pretty much told me to come over here. You moved your hair so you can hear me. Like, okay, whatever. I'll play along. And that's the thing. You gotta play along, right? You like her. You gotta play along, right? Play along with the game. So that's how you can flirt from a distance. Now, if she's not smiling back and doing the hair thing, and she gives you this look, I've even had some scenarios, which is very rare. Here's the funny thing: from my personal experience, I've experienced the a girl, quote unquote, not. I'm not her type, but then later it turns out that I was her type the whole time. It's like, I hate that. I hate when a woman will reject me. I've had this scenario is the most annoying, right? I've had this happen a couple of times. But when I'm looking at a girl, right, trying to do the whole flirting from a distance thing, right, the whole, noticing her from a distance, and then she'll respond out loud, right, in a public setting. What are you looking at, right? And it's like, that's kind of awkward. Like, whoa, that wasn't necessary. You could have just ignored me. When I smiled at you after we made eye contact. That's the thing. We made eye contact. I smiled at you. But then your response to that is, what are you looking at? So, of course, immediately the smile on my face goes away. And then then I will look away, just not to, not make eye contact. No. So the smile goes away. I don't make eye contact, and we'll see what happens afterwards, right? So usually that just tends to be an awkward situation, and I just let it slide. But then later on, turns out they have the hots for me and all this extra stuff, and it's like, oh my God, that wasn't right. That was so disrespectful. Why would you do that? Right? You could have just at least ignored me. Because if you smile, here's the thing: since I smiled at you, if you smiled back, yes, I was going to try to approach you. If you don't want me to approach you because you're shy, nervous, or whatnot, you know, I can understand it. Then just ignore me, right? Just act like you didn't notice that I smiled and just look away, and then don't make eye contact again. I'll get the hint, you know. And then maybe later on, when you feel like it, when you feel up to telling me that you like me, you know, in a more private setting, I'm okay with that. I understand. You don't want it. You don't want a public situation. I totally get that. But why do you have to do that, though? Why do you have to embarrass me? I can understand. I mean, it's wrong to embarrass me regardless whether you like me or not. But it hurts even more that you embarrass me, but you do like me. You do like me, but you embarrass me. That's not cool. Like, to a certain degree, I can understand the embarrassment because you didn't like me, but for you to embarrass me and you did like me, that's okay. That's just not right. But anyway, that's some weird stuff that happens in life. So, I've, it's rare for like if a woman doesn't like me, she just doesn't like me. She wouldn't even notice me. But when a woman notices me, 9 out of 10, no, 10 out of 10, actually, she likes me. But I'll say 7 out of 10, she will not embarrass me, as it were. She will not reject me just for reject rejecting sake. I still don't know why most women do that. It's like if you're shy, I understand that, but man, that is the worst way. That's the worst thing you can do when you're shy is reject somebody. I'd rather you ignore me and act like you didn't notice that I like that I know that I was making eye contact and whatnot, and that I like you, than to reject me publicly. That's the thing. You gotta understand. This isn't a public setting that this stuff is happening. Because this is the only time we see each other was in a public setting. So to reject somebody in public, that's going too far. So don't be surprised that you know this creates a. I mean, good thing I'm tough, so I'm able to accept it, after a while. But it's not every guy can handle rejection, you know, like that. I've had scenarios where a woman would be like, "Ew," like, yeah, that wasn't necessary. That was totally uncalled for. All I did, like I said, we make eye contact, right? You're looking at me, I'm looking at you. I smile, being friendly, smiling, so that way I'm not a threat. That's part of the whole idea why I'm smiling. I'm smiling because I'm trying to let you know that I'm not some creep or something, right? As in, like, don't be afraid of me. So I'm smiling to be friendly, to be less threatening. If for some reason the reason you're looking at me is because you're scared of me, I'm smiling to be less threatening. If you overreact and say ill or something or some disrespectful thing, then it's like, okay, that wasn't necessary. That was uncalled for, but whatever. I'll just keep it moving. But that's just me. Not many people would do that. But then what makes it, even worse is then later on you tell me, wanted to be my girlfriend. It's like, oh my God, that's not how you become my girlfriend. You don't embarrass me in public like that. That was uncalled for. You could have just ignored me. Because think about it, no one knew that we made eye contact and that I smiled at you. You could have just looked away and just ignored me, and I would have got the message, right. I would have understood, to keep it moving. Especially the funny thing. Sometimes that happens. I'm just walking. Like I'm just walking. I notice a girl's looking at me. I do a double take. I look back at her, make eye contact, smile at her because I'm noticing she's looking at me. Looking at me, looking at my direction. But then to verbally say something to embarrass me, like, oh damn, that wasn't even necessary. You could have just totally ignored me. Could have looked away and just been, just been about your business. But whatever. Understand that this can happen. That's why flirting at a distance is easy, right? The more distance, the better. Because, like I said, some of these scenarios were more up close. The whole like what you're looking at, and unless I think it happened to me one time from like halfway across the where I was at. It was a crowded area. Just the loudness, like damn, that's a You really screamed out loud. That was so unnecessary. Definitely was trying to get attention doing that from a distance. But of course, because I was so far away, that when people are looking like who's she talking about, it'll be hard for them to notice that it was me because there's so many other people around. So that's why flirting at distance, it sucks as much as as rejecting. As I said, flirting as it is, rejecting, being rejected at a distance is way better than being rejected face to face. Because again, you got to get away from the situation that you got rejected from. The walk of shame, right? But being rejected or flirting from a distance, you reduce that shame factor. You'll still be a little embarrassed. You're still, you still got rejected. But at least you got rejected from, from a quote unquote safe space, a safe distance, as it were, safe distance. So that's where that's from. Another thing is, what if you make multiple eye contact, right? And you smile, but um, but she doesn't like give you any hints to come back to her. Damn it! Yeah, to go. Give me a second. So it's very important to pay attention to how she behaves, how she reacts. I'm used to paying attention to my surroundings and how people behave, how people react to certain things, which allows me to judge them better than they think. Some people like to think that that I assume or I have opinions. I do not. I deduce. There's a difference. I figure out things by paying attention. I pay attention and I figure things out, and I'm 99% really good at it. So I am human, not perfect, but better than most when it comes to noticing things and figuring things out. So, so that's rejecting or flirting from a distance. Then it goes to the idea of like a woman noticing you, because at first you'll notice her, but then what if just mind your own business? You prefer if a woman pays attention to you. Like if you notice that a woman is staring at you for long periods of time, then this is what you do to try to confirm. I tend to do this. I could make my life easier and just smile. If a woman is looking at me, first and foremost, look around to see if she's looking at anything else, or if there's somebody else behind you that she could potentially be staring at. Smile will be the quickest way to see what she's thinking. If she's shy, she might immediately look away and smile. The main thing is if she smiles. That's the important thing, right? If she smiles, her smile is a reaction to the fact that you smile. And that's a good thing, because if you smile and she smiles, that's a good thing. It means she received the smile positively. If she has like a sour face, like she ate something sour and her face looks all scrunchy, then she didn't receive it too well. So that's an important thing to keep in mind. So that's the thing is, you gotta understand that no matter how old a woman gets, she's still a little girl on the inside. She's a woman on the outside, which we love, of course, but she's still a little girl on the inside. That's why women like cute stuff and stuff, right? Little cute things, because they never really grew up from being a little girl. They just are a bigger version of what they were when they were young. So you gotta take that to account. You might want to think, oh, she's a grown ass woman. She needs to behave a certain way as a grown ass woman. But like, you gotta understand that typically, women tend to maintain their girly girlness, right? The little girl personalities a lot longer than a guy. A guy will go from being an immature, douchebag, do whatever he wants type of boy, to being more responsible, being more logical, understanding that you have to behave a certain way at certain times. For girls, it's I'm who I am for life, and you have to understand that if she's shy when she's young, she's gonna be shy mostly when she's old, more often than not, right? So if she's looking at you, paying attention to you, then you need to, you know, smile is the quickest way. But what I tend to do is that just to confirm that, you know, that she is interested in me, I would move around. I will move from one location to another to see if she will follow me. So if she was looking in one direction and I just so happen to be in that direction, it seems like, yeah, the only reason she's looking at me is because I'm here, right? I'm where I'm at and where she's facing. Obviously, she'll be looking at me because she's facing my direction. So if I move to a place where she would have to turn and look towards my direction, like for example, if I deliberately move myself to behind her, like, not behind her directly, right, but be somewhere off behind her where she would have to turn around to see me, then there's a big indication that she likes what she sees, right? Because she's literally going out of her way to look at you. This concept might be a little bit too extreme. That's why I'm saying to simplify, smile and see where that goes. I'm just sometimes, I just be like wondering why a woman is looking at me from a distance, and funny. This is like essentially my version of flirting, is moving around just to see if she follows me, because I just like the attention, right? But then I'm like, okay, maybe I should do something with this, because it'd be stupid for me just to be moving around, and it's pointless if I'm just, if I'm not allowing this to go any further. Because think about it, you gotta remember, on average, when you're out in public, there's tons of people around you, and you barely even notice they're there because you're not paying attention to them. So when someone notices you in the crowd and they're paying attention to you, that's important. It's a big deal. That's why it's male and female interactions, especially from a distance, is important. That's why body language is important, because you're literally, you have to understand that with your bodies, you're like essentially texting each other. So that's why it's important to pay attention to what she's saying with her body, right? So it's very important to know what she's saying with her body. Some things she does will be a little obvious, deliberately bending over at certain point in time when she knows you're paying attention, or she'll do things like bending over and stuff like that to see if you're looking. So she wants you to look. So, and that tends to happen. I tend to be in a scenario where a lot of flirting happens from a distance, but logically, what should happen is that I should approach her. I mean, once she shows me interest, I should approach her. Especially if I got nothing else better to do, right? Because sometimes this will happen even when, like, I might be busy doing something. So, like, for example, I might be working or something, like let's say I'm working McDonald's or something, so I'm working. So, you know what I mean? So if a woman is paying attention to me and noticing me while I'm working, it's like, I appreciate the attention, but it's like I'm at work, so I can't act upon this, this attention that I'm getting. So that could be a problem. So, I would end up in a scenario where I just be flirting the whole entire shift. Just enjoying the fact that, she's giving me attention. Shit. I literally had a scenario like this. Literally had a scenario like this when I was in Puerto Rico. I'm on one, yes, it's a mountain range. So I'm on a mountain range. So I'm on a mountain, and there was this female on another mountain, and she was giving me a lot of attention. But think about how funny it was that she was that far away. She's on another mountain, and I'm on another mountain. Like, the distance was very, very far, and it would have been very, very hard for me to get to her, even if I wanted to approach her and come to her. So this was a long distance thing by literally geography, right? So literally, flirting from a distance by force. And I would have liked to have approached her, but I couldn't, because of the environment. So it had to be far distance. So that was funny. So, you know, gotta pay attention to the social cues. Now, getting close to a woman, right? Now, this is the tough part, right? This is approaching a woman, right? Getting close to her, right? So it's tough, because you're risking the, getting rejected, embarrassment, which sucks. You know, I mean, for me personally, just pretty much being, quote unquote rejected, just being told that, I got a man, or because here's the thing, I try to simplify it to make the rejection simpler. Don't immediately be like, you know, hey, I like you, this, that, and third, like don't start off with that. You work your way up to that, right? You bring that up later on in the conversation. First thing you want to do, right, is get closer, right? Close enough. Don't be a creep, right? Get close enough to her to smile, right? First and foremost, smile. If you smile at her and she smiles back, you good. Like at least, at least the situation is not awkward, right? Because she smiled. So then say hi. I know this sounds all basic as hell, and that's the whole point, is that you don't need much just to. You gotta remember, you're talking to another human being, right? She, has had tons of people talk to her, and no one comes up to her like, yo, except for the assholes that do, right? Yo, how you doing? Yo, you got a man? Let's get together. If you don't got a man, like, that's ridiculous, right? She's used to somebody just saying hi just by noticing her. A regular, average person, a stranger, will say hi, right? So that's what you got to do. The same thing. Say hi, smile, be polite, this, that, and third. Unfortunately, let's say she gets rude, right? She starts acting very disrespectful. Still, be nice, right? Maintain, your composure, right? Maintain your nice guyness, right? And then, move along. Smile and, move along, right? Pretty much the whole smile through pain concept. Because if she really, really hurts your feelings and rejected, and whatnot, yeah, it sucks. But smile. Don't express it as a word. Don't show that what she said hurt you. Just smile, laugh. I do that sometimes. Like I'll laugh. I laugh for slightly different reasons. I don't laugh because she hurt my feelings. I'm trying to hide that she hurt my feelings. I laugh for a different reason. But you know, get into the habit of like laughing when you do get rejected, or smiling at least. Smile and walk away. Um, you know, don't be sad. That's what I'm saying. Don't, because you're showing weakness, as they say, right? Smile and walk away if it didn't work out. If it didn't work out, don't work out. You gotta take it to account. It's like for her loss. You were trying to be nice, right? You are approaching her to try to get to know her. She doesn't want to give you the shot to get to know her. The main thing, she did not give you the shot for her to get to know you. She don't know you. Yeah, and you were interested into getting to know her, but if she shuts you down, well, now she doesn't get to know you. And for all she knows, you're a great person, right? But she doesn't know that because she shot you down before you even got, to say anything, right? To get to let her know you. But once you do get past that point, and she, does talk to you, you say hi, she says hi, and one thing, then start asking questions. One of the things you can ask is like, that I would say is like, you have a boyfriend? Right off the bat. Simple. Don't be like, I like you, I saw you, was wondering if you got a boyfriend. Like, no, don't add the extra stuff, right? Don't let it be known that you like her right off the bat. Just ask if she has a boyfriend, right? And if the answer is yes, then you reject yourself, right? If the answer is yes, but you still want to talk to her, then you could talk to her. Just keep that in mind that she has a man, or she just told you she has a man. So keep that in mind. If you know, ultimately at that point, you want to like get away from that situation. If she has a man, she has a man. Respect the situation. But if you really like the idea of talking to her, it's like, you know what, I know this is not going to go anywhere beyond conversation, so I rather have the conversation. And I'm that kind of guy where it's like, okay, especially with a woman like this, I'm like, yeah, I'd just be happy just talking to you, you know, uh, practice, right? Practice talking to a pretty girl, right? And that's another thing to keep in mind is the idea that it's like, even if it doesn't go anything further, at least you got some practice out of it, right? So think about that. Think positively is what I'm saying. At least you got some practice. You know what I mean? You know what works, what doesn't work, right? Um, again, the way you dress, smell, that's important, right? I noticed I didn't mention those things, but this is about how you behave, the way you look, the way you smell, and all that stuff. If you have money or not, that's all on you. Obviously, you should always be your best at any given time, especially if you're trying to interact with a woman. Be your best at the point. Don't try to approach a woman when you're at your worst, right? You know, be your best when you approach her. So I'm assuming you're at your best at this point in time. So you're at your best. So it should just come down to your personality, right? Just to the conversation, not to any exterior thing. It's just be more about who you are, right? So then you're trying to let her know who you are, right? Trying to get her to get to know you. Because sometimes what women do, which is unfortunate, especially modern women, they don't try to get to know the guy. They tend to care more about what they think, what they believe, how they feel, right? Feelings, more so than the guy. I always expect women to ask like 1,000 questions when she's talking to a guy to get to know the guy. But usually women just want to talk about themselves, right? Which is not a bad thing when you ask to know things about her. But if women are the ones who choose, who they're gonna have sex with and this and that, then she needs to be asking me all types of questions until I pass the test, as it were, and then she lets me get to have sex, right? Then that's what she should be doing. I shouldn't be, right, putting in so much effort. She should be vetting me for sexy time, right? Not the other way around. I already wanted to have sex. She has to vet me, so she should be asking me all types of questions to get to know me. But it's so weird that women don't do that nowadays. They don't try to get to know me. Back in the day, they used to. Like, back in the day, they ask you, "What do you do?" This, that, and they always want to hear. Back in the day, they always want to hear what you have to say, what you do, and this and that. And they want to hear all these positive things. Basically, it was the whole resume thing, right? Because every time you're conversating with a woman, it's essentially like an interview. She wants to know your qualifications, for her time. That's how it used to be. Now women act like they could care less what you do for a living, who you know, and this, that, and third, and you know the name brands of the clothes you wear. This and that. Like, there was a time where that mattered. So that's why the old-fashioned way of doing things, of telling a woman, what you do and this, that, and third, doesn't matter. Now, if she asks, obviously tell her. But if she doesn't ask, don't tell her that make money. You got a car. You got a Lamborghini. You got a mansion. This and that. None of that stuff matters. One, it makes you sound like an asshole. According to women are the ones saying this. That according to them, that they don't like when a guy just right off the bat just starts running through their resume, as it were. Now they don't call it that. They call it obviously bragging, or a guy who's cocky. I don't like a guy who's cocky. It's like, okay, but ladies, y'all the ones who created that. Y'all the ones who want guys to have so many things just to even talk to you. Of course, when he's talking to you, he immediately tells you, I have all these things because all these things matter to women. Every woman I met cares about these things, so I'm going to tell you what these things are. Because that's what y'all care about. If y'all care about my personality and stuff like that, and care about me as a person, that'd be different. Then we wouldn't even be wasting time telling you all the things we have, because all the things we have is irrelevant. They're materialistic things, right? When you die, you can't take them with you, so who cares, right? Men don't care about money. Men don't care about materialistic things like that. We like life. We like the stuff we have in life, but we don't care about it as much, right? We definitely care about the women, the beautiful women in the world. So, but that's the world we live in. So you get closer, you talk to her, you get to know her, by asking her, yeah, you ask her if she has a boyfriend, and then the next thing you do is that if she says no, she doesn't have a boyfriend, then you ask her her name, age, this and that. So the first thing you want to do, you don't want to waste time, telling her your name and asking her for her name, this and third. If you already did that, you already did that. But the thing is, typically that's not necessary. You want to make it quick as painless, as they say, right? Want to get through the process real quick, right? You want to get the important things out the way, is what I'm saying. So asking her, saying hi, right, to start the conversation. But if you say hi and she doesn't speak back, awkward because she didn't respond. So say hi, see if she'll say hi, because hi is, it's not a question, right? It's just it's a greeting, right? So you said hi, if she says it back, great, and then you go from there. Then you can start asking her questions, right? But if she doesn't say hi, something's going on here. You can, if you notice that she didn't respond because she might be very, very shy, so shy that she's having trouble talking. Then you can try to do more of the talking than anything else. Ask her questions, and she'll probably give you head nods, like she'll say yes or a head or something. Like I've experienced that where a girl's so shy that she actually didn't talk. I was asking questions and she just responded with head nods and some noises and smiles. And it's like, okay, like really, you're not going to use words to tell me to answer my questions? Okay, I'll work with this. But for some guys, that would be a problem. For me, I'm like, okay, I'll work with this. This is cute and all, but it would be nice that you speak. Want to hear what you have to say, right? Trying to get to know you, but okay. Um, yeah, it's tough when a girl's shy. Oh man, it is tough because the only reason you're asking questions is because you're trying to get her to talk and you're hoping that she likes to talk a lot, so that way it makes it easier to have a back and forth conversation. If she barely says anything, that means you literally got to carry the whole entire conversation, and that's awkward in certain situations. Some guys will just quit and be like, all right, well, this is not worth my time. If she's not gonna talk, then this this is just gonna this is too much work, right? Some guys will quit, right? This is too much work. If she's not talking back to me, then this is pointless. The whole idea was for us to talk. But sometimes you gotta be patient, man. If you really like her, you'll tolerate so many things, including that. But to a certain degree, to me, it's cute, that she wants to be. It's funny. It's much easier for me to talk to a girl if she is shy, because then I, like I said, pretend to be, not shy, right? To pretend to be confident. It's just so much easier. You know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, you want to be the shy girl? Okay, I'll be the super confident guy. That's that is bragging about the type of life he lives and stuff like that. If like I said, most women are still little girls on the inside. Therefore, sometimes you gotta play along. Right? You gotta play the make believe game, right? Right now, if she's very, very shy, even though when you saw her, she looked like she wasn't a shy girl, but then when you start talking to her, suddenly she's shy. Then you gotta play the part. You gotta be that cool guy, that guy that you know that woos her and says all these nice things to her because she's not speaking. Um, but yeah, man, it's important to get to know her, her name, her age, and stuff like that. Uh, it'd be very awkward. You start talking and stuff. The whole boyfriend thing and stuff like that. Ask her name, ask her age, and she says she's 12. It's like, oh man, this is not good. And then you reject yourself or eject yourself out of the situation. That would be an unfortunate situation to be in where it's like, awkward. You, you look like that? Are you sure you're 12 with a body like that? Okay, got that. You do you. I'll move along. So yeah, it can happen. Women now, young women nowadays don't look young as they used to. They tend to look older. in certain uh, features. So be careful. That's why it's important to definitely get that age as soon as possible. You know, you definitely want to make sure there's no boyfriend, right? No boyfriend. Make sure she's of age, 18 or older type stuff. And then, get to know her name, her likes, dislikes. And of course, ask her, how's her life going? If she looks like, you know, she's sad, then you can ask her how her day's going. But if she looks like, she was just chilling, just minding her own business, she doesn't look sad, then you can ask her how her life, how is life treating her? That's the question I always ask, you know, even when like I'm texting, because that's another thing. Sometimes, talking to a woman online, but right now this is just about talking to a woman in person. But just saying, how's life treating you? How's life going? You know, you want her to talk, and while she's talking, obviously you should be listening and paying attention. Obviously, that's important, and you'll pick up on certain things. The most important thing, two things before this is over that I want to say is definitely don't talk to a woman when you're horny. Try to not be horny when you're talking to her because you're gonna make a lot of bad decisions. You're gonna say the wrong thing. You know you're gonna be very impatient with her and this and third when you're in that type of situation. So make sure you got that part of yourself under control. So don't be horny when you're talking to a woman. Because remember, it's about talking to her, getting to know her. So make sure you have that under control. And then you want to listen to what she has to say. Because if she starts talking about like cops won't leave her alone about some dead body or something, and it's like, okay, she's a serial killer, hypothetically, right? But if that happens and she's talking about how her life is and she mentions some crazy shit, or even if she's talking about like, oh yeah, man, my ex-boyfriend stopped texting me, this, that, there, blah, 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 and it turns out that, like you would think like, oh yeah, most people have, bad things happen to them that's out of their control. But some people actually, they're the reason why their life is bad. And you want to know that. You want to know if this female they're speaking to has any issues. Because you got to understand, people do have issues, right? Whether it's personality-based issues or it's mental issues. That's what I mean by issues. It could be mental issues. She could have mental issues. That's unfortunate, right? In this day and age, oh, don't discriminate her because she has mental issues, that's a health thing, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, but if I'm trying to, be in a relationship, yeah, the mental issues would be an issue just for the relationship. Until that situation gets resolved, she's always going to be in a situation. Mental issues will be an issue in a relationship, especially if the whole idea is the relationship's supposed to be long distance. Another thing with mental issues or just personal issues like personality, like she has personality issues, like she just behaves a certain type of way, like she's a crazy woman. You might want to avoid crazy women. So that's why it's important to ask her about her life. Because more likely, even with a stranger, most women will talk about the bad things in their life. They won't tell you like personal shit per se, like unless they do want to get personal. But a lot of times when it comes to negative things in their life, they want to air it out. They want to get it out. They want to tell somebody how shit how bad their day was or week or whatever. Which is why I always use that question, because one, it helps them out therapeutically. I'm helping her out, right? Remember I said about the women's feelings. You want to make them happy. So if I can ask her how her day is or how life's been treating her, and she lets out all her all the negative thoughts, right, all the negative feelings she has, you're helping her get happy, and maybe later she'll make you happy. That's wrong to say, but you get my point. It's, again, women make decisions based off of their emotions. So if she has positive feelings, then her decisions will be positive, if you know what I mean, guys. If her feelings are negative, then don't be surprised you get negative results. So that's the whole point. It's simple. When a woman's happy, she'll make you happy. When she's not happy, she'll make you miserable. So, and that'll be the end of this video.